Have you ever heard a scream and just assumed someone else would handle it? Or seen something that felt wrong but told yourself it was none of your business? This is a story about that exact feeling, a story that will make you question what you would do in a moment of crisis. It starts with a scream, a single, sharp scream that cuts through the quiet of the night in an apartment building. It's loud enough to wake people up. A door slams shut. You can hear footsteps running, fading away into silence. Then, nothing, just the hum of the building. Lights start to flicker on, one by one, in different windows. People move to their peepholes, they peek through their curtains. They see nothing but an empty, dimly lit hallway. Phones are picked up. Fingers hover over the numbers 911, but then a thought creeps in. It's probably just a couple fighting, or someone else has surely called by now, or I don't want to get involved in drama. So, the phones are put back down. The curtains are drawn, the lights go off, and the building goes back to sleep, but the silence is a lie. Because by the time the sun rises, the truth is revealed in the cruelest way possible. A woman is found in that hallway. She's not sleeping. She's gone. The police arrive, tape goes up, and the building, once a collection of private homes, becomes a crime scene. Detectives begin the grim task of knocking on doors. They interview the neighbors, one by one, trying to piece together the last moments of this woman's life. The answers they get are unsettlingly similar. A man in apartment 3B says, "Yeah, I heard something, but I wasn't sure what it was. Sounded like a TV. Maybe." A young woman in 4A admits, "I almost called, but I figured with so many people in the building, someone else must have already done it." And an older gentleman on the second floor whispers, looking at his feet, "Honestly, I just didn't want to get involved." You never know who you're dealing with these days. The detective listens patiently to each person. He hears the same story of hesitation, of assumption, of fear. After interviewing everyone on the floor, he gathers them in the lobby. The air is thick with tension and unspoken guilt. He looks at their faces, one by one. These are the faces of ordinary people, teachers, accountants, retirees. People just like you and me. Then he asks a simple question. A question so simple it's disarming. Who heard the scream? Slowly, hesitantly, a hand goes up. Then another, and another, until every single person in that lobby has their hand raised. Every single one of them heard it. The detective nods slowly, a deep sadness in his eyes. He lets the silence hang in the air for a moment, letting the weight of their collective admission sink in. Then he says, "Then you were all there." The neighbors look at each other. Their eyes dart around, full of a dawning, horrifying understanding. Because in that moment, they finally get it. The crime didn't just happen because one person decided to do something terrible. It happened because a dozen people decided to do nothing. Their inaction formed a wall of silence, a shield for the perpetrator, and a death sentence for the victim. This story isn't just a story. It's a real psychological phenomenon known as the bystander effect, or bystander apathy. It describes the tendency for individuals to be less likely to offer help to a victim when other people are present. The greater the number of bystanders, the less likely it is that any one of them will help. Psychologists John Darley and Bib Latane first demonstrated this in the 1960s after the infamous case of Kitty Genoese, a woman who was attacked and murdered in New York City, while dozens of her neighbors reportedly heard her cries for help but did nothing. Their research uncovered a few key reasons why this happens. The first is called diffusion of responsibility. When you're the only person there, 100% of the responsibility to act falls on you. But when you're in a crowd of 10 people, you might feel only 10% responsible. If there are 100 people, you feel like your personal responsibility is almost zero. Everyone thinks someone else will take charge. Surely, a more qualified person will step up, we tell ourselves. A doctor, a police officer, someone braver than me. The second reason is the need to behave in socially acceptable ways. This is called pluralistic ignorance. We look to others for cues on how to act. If you see an emergency but nobody else is panicking, you start to doubt your own judgment. You think, well, if no one else seems concerned, maybe it's not actually an emergency. Maybe I'm overreacting. I don't want to be the one who makes a fool of himself by calling 911 for a false alarm. So, a group of concerned but inactive people can create a feedback loop of inaction, each person reinforcing the other's passivity. And finally, there's evaluation apprehension. This is our fear of being judged by others. We worrying about what will happen if we intervene. Will we do it wrong? Will we make the situation worse? Will we look stupid? Will we put ourselves in danger? It's often easier and feels safer to simply do nothing and blend into the crowd. Think about it. How many times have you scrolled past a post online of someone asking for help, assuming hundreds of their other friends would see it? How many times have you seen someone stranded on the side of the road and thought the next car will stop? It's the bystander effect in our daily lives. So, what can we do? How do we break this cycle of inaction? The first step is awareness. Simply knowing that the bystander effect exists is a huge part of overcoming it. When you find yourself in a situation where someone might need help, you can consciously recognize that feeling of someone else will do it and push back against it. Remind yourself that everyone else is probably thinking the exact same thing. The second step is to take personal responsibility. Decide ahead of time that if you see something, you will be the one to do something. Don't wait for someone else to be the hero. You be the hero. And if you are the one who needs help, you can actually use this knowledge to your advantage. Instead of yelling somebody help me, which allows for the diffusion of responsibility, single someone out. Point to a specific person and say, you, in the red shirt, call 911. By giving a specific person a specific task, you break them out of the bystander mindset and make them an active participant. You place the responsibility squarely on their shoulders, and they are much more likely to act. The story of the silent witnesses in the apartment building is a chilling reminder of the power of our collective inaction. It teaches us that our silence has a voice, and our inaction has consequences. The opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. It's looking away. It's assuming someone else will care. The next time you hear a scream, see an injustice, or notice someone in need, remember those hands in the air. Remember the detective's words. Then you were all there. Don't be a bystander. Be the one who makes the call. Be the one who steps forward. Be the one who isn't silent, because sometimes a single action, a single voice, is all it takes to save a life. You have the power to be that voice. Thanks for watching. If this story made you think, please consider sharing it. You never know who might need to hear this message. And subscribe for more content that makes you think, stay safe, and look out for each other.